We are live. Welcome everybody to the Weirdo Watchlist Podcast, the podcast that's slightly off. I'm your host, Mikey. That's your other host, Sam. And I'll just start off by saying trying to record this specific episode has been quite the cursed journey. We took an extra week so we could finish Twin Peaks Season 1 and 2. And then the night we recorded the first attempt, my file got corrupted mid-recording, and I couldn't save it. And then we tried recording the following week, just normal scheduling conflicts, and then the next week, Mr. Samuel, I'll let you tell the audience what happened. Yeah,
I injured my back so badly I couldn't podcast. So it's bad.
Yeah,
you can't just sit in front of a mic. That's how bad my back hurts. So
yeah.
But I'm better now. I'm stretching my leg as we speak. Stretching out my hammies and my quads. You know how it is.
Yeah. But needless to say, we are finally back. And probably going to take another, 3-week break so we can get through the return without, rushing through it. But we'll figure that out later. Anyway, how have you been?
Besides the back, pretty good. I've been watching a lot of movies, so that's good. How are you, my friend?
I have also been good, and I've also been watching a number of more movies, since we last recorded. But
yeah.
But
a month and a half ago.
Yeah, a month and a half ago. Yeah, we've been backed up. I kind of want to save it for when we have just one thing to talk about.
Honestly, I don't remember what we talked about in the episode that was corrupted, so I can't even remember what I've all watched since our last actual published episode. So
yeah,
but I have watched a lot, even just in the last week. And I will say, with all of them, there is a theme, and I keep sobbing to movies. I don't know what my deal is this week, but any sad part in a movie just makes me just lose it. Maybe when I hurt my back, maybe something loosened up in my heart too, because my God, bro. Paddington 3, of course Paddington's gonna make me cry because I knew it was gonna happen, but I was it wasn't even that sad, and I was crying pretty hard. I'm like, this is something. Paddington 3 though, pretty damn good. Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it yet, no. I still gotta get to it.
It's pretty good. Did you see the first two?
Yeah, of course.
I assume?
Yeah. What kind of white guy with a movie podcast hasn't seen Paddington 1 or 2?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. It fills out the trilogy good. It's perfectly a good Paddington movie. I thought it was on par with the first one.
I've got my reservations since the Paul King, director of the first two, is not directing this one, and Sally Hawkins isn't coming back as Mrs. Brown.
Yeah, I didn't know that going in, and I was a little bit.
I think she decided to go film Wonka with Paul King instead. She kind of picked favorites. The director of Paddington over Paddington.
It was in that
himself.
for a whole 5 minutes, I think.
That's just my speculation.
Have you seen Wonka?
No, I didn't.
Now that's another good one in the realm, obviously, of Paddington. Another little fun movie. Not great, but Mr. Timmy Chalamet is winning awards out here. So
winning awards.
I don't know if you heard he won some award.
Yeah, he won the SAG award last night. Yeah. So now he's officially.
I saw his speech. Did you see it?
I didn't see the whole thing, but I definitely heard him saying I am going for that Oscar.
Whether you like it or not. I want to be one of the greats. This is more fuel for it. He's I know I'm not supposed to say that I'm trying hard out here, but fuck it. I'm
I've been working on this thing for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. I like him.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll win the Oscar. Do you watch the Oscars?
I've watched the past few of them. I think you and I texted each other as last year's were happening.
Yeah, I don't even think I have plans for it this year. Usually I do. I don't even know where it streams anymore. I'll find it.
It's finally streaming on Hulu. They're putting it on a streamer for the first time, so it's not exclusively on cable.
I mean, if freaking the Super Bowl can be on Tubi, then anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Everything's gonna be on streaming now. It's the way it is. But yeah, I want to watch it. Hulu, huh? I don't have Hulu. I should get it. I should.
Yeah, anyway, they got the whole Disney Plus and Max bundle too with it for $15.
Oh yeah, I want Max because all the Criterions are not all of them, but a lot of them are on Max. Yeah. Yes, sir. What have you been watching?
I'll keep it to the new stuff.
Yeah.
Because again, I watch I watch a movie just about every day or every other day at least, so
Yeah.
it's my Letterboxd area is filled up. But I did see The Monkey, the new Stephen King Osgood Perkins flick, and it's
is that like a comedy?
It's a horror comedy because there's not like like a normal horror comedy with like meta jokes and everything. This one is just absolutely outrageous.
Yeah.
Where it's just like everything, like all like the it's kind of like a Final Destination where like each kill is like more over the top than the last.
Oh yeah.
And that's where the absurdity comes in, and like kind of like the overly serious tone like the main character brings.
Yeah.
But to the point where, again, it feels more absurdist than, there's like an actual joke trying to be told by some wise guy.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun with it. I know there's like a lot of people who have their reservations towards it.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's just not funny whatsoever. I know my wife definitely physically hated one of the jokes they pulled at the end of the movie.
Really?
Yeah, it really like made her angry, is what happened. And it's not even anything offensive. It's just she just couldn't fucking handle it. She just hated it.
Hey, sometimes you gotta hate.
Yeah.
Just absolute hate something because that was just a bad joke.
Yeah.
You've ruined my evening. You've ruined my evening with a bad joke.
Yeah, exactly. But I had a ton of fun with it. I thought it was really funny. And I again, like some of the kills, I was the only one like really laughing at them as they happened, because again, it is just outrageous. Some of the things that go on. So I do recommend it quite a bit.
I will have to go see it. I thought about going to see it the other day. I've been trying to hit the theater more, but there's too many things in theaters right now. They're showing all the Oscar movies. I'm trying to see all those. Not
I think
all of them,
I think I gave up trying to see all of them because I just haven't made plans to see any of them outside when I saw The Brutalist like last month.
Oh, did you see that already?
I
must
did.
have talked about that probably already.
Maybe.
On the corrupted episode, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am probably going to watch that because you can get that at home now. So I am going to probably watch that soon, but 3.5 hours is pretty daunting for any movie, I think.
It's got an intermission built in.
I heard that.
Yeah. So funny. That was wonderful. It's a 15-minute intermission, too. So you don't even have to pause it to go to the bathroom.
I just fast forward it.
You could just fast forward it, but to really get the full experience, you gotta let it run.
Does anything happen? Is it a moving? Is it a static image? What
is it? It's a family photo with the intermission and then a timer counting down from 15 minutes, and then like intermission music. Yeah. But when I saw it at the Burnsville Theater, our alma mater, I went and got a pretzel. Nice. Talked to some of the managers I used to work with.
Nice.
And I was like, listen, this intermission thing, all movies should do this.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't know about being built into a movie, but I think maybe theaters should be doing intermissions if anything's ever over 3 hours. Yeah. But yeah, that's smart. So the movie is really 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Ish, yeah, but again, like, who's gonna
fast forward to that? I'm gonna watch it at home, so
I thought it was really fun.
I ain't gonna go use the bathroom in my house. I'm just gonna pause for that kind of thing.
I'm just gonna go to the bathroom on the couch.
I'm not a real film lover if I don't sit through the entire Brutalist 15-minute intermission and all.
Raw dog it, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get up. Don't go to the bathroom.
Wait 15 minutes. Yeah.
Don't check your phone while you can.
I've seen slower movies.
Yeah.
Let's go. A violent nature. Guy walking in the woods.
I still gotta watch that one. I know we talked about that a while ago.
It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Might be fun at 1.5 times speed, actually.
Might put it on a Hooptober. This year's Hooptober list. Many months from now, but...
Yeah, you're getting it ready.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I've got a private list of just bizarre random horror movies that could just go on a future Hooptober list.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Most of them I see just like on Twitter, just like there's like one account I follow that I think is like my favorite like running account right now, Well, just every day they'll post a different GIF of a movie, and it's just like the most insane clip I've seen. Every time they post a different clip, somehow they just find more and more outrageous clips, and I'm like, they always tell me what the movie is, thankfully. So I just immediately switched to Letterboxd and added to my watch list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, out of the Best Picture nominees, do you know how many of them you've seen? You don't have to know them off the top of your head, but Brutalist, obviously.
I have seen 4 of them.
4 of them. Which ones?
Brutalist?
I could guess. I could probably guess.
Go ahead, guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess.
Okay, The Brutalist, The Substance. Wicked?
No.
You have not seen Wicked.
Dune
Part 2.
Yeah.
Honora?
Yes.
Okay. No Conclave.
No Conclave. Yeah, that's just what I haven't gotten to yet. I've been meaning to.
That's fine.
It's a nice flat 2 hours. And, from what I've heard, it's like basically like girl drama, but with, like Catholic priests and cardinals, which I'm all about,
I didn't understand. I mean, I guess it's more like the director's name maybe is getting the nominations than anything, but like the movie's fine. I mean,
like the guy directed All Quiet on the Western Front from like 2 years ago, so.
And that got a lot of love at the Oscars.
Too much love, I say.
Yeah, so I feel like, I mean, Conclave was fine. Totally fine. I don't know if it might win like sound or something, but I saw Nickel Boys 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. I did not expect it to be as good as it was, because I knew like the whole gimmicky, I'm saying gimmicky, but it doesn't feel that way. First person perspective of the movie. Do you know anything about Nickel Boys?
I didn't know anything about that.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's from the perspective of the 2 main characters, from their eyes, from their point of view. And the way they do that never gets really old. It never feels like a gimmick. It just feels fucking, it puts you in a very different mood while you're watching the movie, different perspective. And the end of the movie just fucking blew my fucking socks off, bro. That movie, it's crazy. That's the sobbing movie of the week. I was in the theater just surrounded by people. It was like an Oscar marathon that was going on in the theater. They were playing 5 one day and 5 the other day.
Yeah.
And right in the middle of day 1 was Nickel Boys. And so I bought a ticket just for that, because you could do that as well. So I went into the theater. There was like 40 other people who were like posted up in there with blankets, and they looked like they'd been there for 6 hours, because they had been. And they still had to watch Dune Part 2 and Wicked, I think.
Oh my god.
Yikes. Anyway, so it was just me and like 40 people like that were living in this theater for the day, and I was sobbing. Holy shit, dude. I was crying. Kind of loud, maybe. Not loud, but audibly. I'm like, dude, I need to calm the fuck down. Movie's sad. Movie's good. Movie's really good. If you get, I think you can rent it.
I think
it's probably at home release now. I think I just saw a list.
Yeah, I have to. There's no renting option. I just have to buy it for $20.
That sucks.
Yeah.
What I don't recommend Amelia Perez. Don't waste your time. I'm Still Here was good. I saw that recently. I don't know if we talked about that in the last episode, but I watched that. And it's pretty damn good. The performance is well deserved for that nomination that everyone's talking about. What's her nuts? Don't know her name. That's how much I paying attention.
Fernanda Torres.
Yes, thank you. And she's great. So yeah, definitely that one. Honora, great. You liked Honora?
I did like Honora. I liked it quite a bit.
Are you gonna watch Wicked?
I am. I mean, I just checked and it's still only like available to buy. So I would like to be able to rent the thing, because I don't want to own it.
Yeah.
But
it's gotta go on streaming somewhere. I mean, it's like one of those. I don't know. Like, you don't see one of those not go for streaming. Like Barbie. Like Netflix picked up Barbie for $1 billion fucking dollars probably. Anyway, yeah. What else was there? A Complete Unknown.
Didn't see it.
It's a Bob Dylan movie. It's fine. I don't know. I don't care about half.
And then Yeah, Doom Part 2, one of the biggest movies of the year, so...
I gotta rewatch that again. So good. It was really good.
It is really good. I ought to give
I
it a
really...
rewatch, too.
It made the first one better for me, too. I rewatched the first one since watching the second one, and it just, like, made a lot more sense. I feel like it... Because it's such a confusing world and material, that I feel like the second one nailed it so much better even than the first one, that made this first one make more sense.
Yeah.
I guess that's just continuing the story, I suppose. But regardless, well done fucking movie.
Yeah, good movie.
I'm sure it's not gonna win Best Picture.
It will not. But
I think people are predicting a Nora, it sounds like.
I think Nora and The Brutalist. Those are like the two big front runners.
I'm gonna lock in. It's gonna say it's gonna be something lame like Conclave, and people are gonna be like, okay. I hope it's Amelia Perez. It's gonna be the most maddening thing to everybody on the internet. That'd be really funny.
I think like a month and a half ago, that was the big actual, like, could this win Best Picture?
Yeah.
And then all the controversy came out, and then now they might not just. I think Zoe Saldana still might have secured herself a win, and of course, like, Best Foreign Language Film, unless they just do give it time still here, but we'll see.
Let's hope. I don't know. Yeah. I saw Amelia Perez, and I didn't hate it. But like, definitely, I would avoid giving it awards after all the just kind of. I wouldn't even call it controversy in my head. I think it's just kind of cringe. Like,
yeah,
some of the shit that the main actress lady is spouting and like acting all victim-y, and
yeah,
I don't know if I looked into any of it, but it's like, seems like I'm just a really self-absorbed person, and you don't like to see that. You just hope Zoe Saldana can just win her little award, accept it, and then everything else will just leave it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leave it out of the awards. It's just kind of dug its own grave. The movie was just... I see what it was trying to go for, but this is... How did it get nominated so much? That's the real question.
I think it's because, like, the director's, like, friends with a lot of people who work in the Academy. It's one of those. Just like, yeah, like, insider picks. The guy hasn't won anything yet, but we like him a lot. And the movie's like like, not the usual bunch. So, I heard somebody explain it online, but again, like, I think it's sunk its own ship.
Yeah, sure.
Shall we talk about the TV show we watched again?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Go over it again.
Oh, we have to talk about the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing, and then the movie.
Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Which I've now seen. We've now seen the movie, so we can add that to the list. Season 1 and 2 of Twin Peaks,
yes.
Including pilot, which I've now seen a few times. Great pilot. First off, I think we've talked about that.
It's a fantastic pilot.
It really is. God, where do we start? Square one again. We talked about it for a good half hour before already, but
yeah.
Subject number 1, Dale Cooper.
Dale Cooper.
Are you in love?
How
could you not be in love?
I love Dale Cooper to bits.
Such a great character. What a great character.
One of TV's finest.
Truly, like, every moment he's on screen is great.
He fills the screen up with such joy and enthusiasm, no matter what he's doing. Whether it's just excitedly asking about ducks and trees or drinking a cup of coffee, it's dynamite. It's great.
Yep, he rocked it for real. And just what a cast of characters. I know. I'll probably forget a million of them until I think about it, because there's just so many of them. But so many fun characters. Log Lady. The Log Lady, yep. I want to call them side characters, but like,
they all get to do their own sort of thing.
None of them are, like, even Nadine, who feels maybe most side character-ish, is still, like, not a side character.
Yeah,
I don't want to jump into the second season too much, but what the fuck happened with her in the second season? What choices were made?
We'll talk about it, because I do want to talk about Nadine in the second season. But
my goodness, yeah.
So yeah, Twin Peaks. Opens up, Laura Palmer's dead. They find her body wrapped in plastic, as Pete Martell describes it. Good old Pete Martell, played by Jack
Love
Nance.
him. Yeah.
Another great character performance. Just another dynamite character you love seeing.
Yeah, every scene. Yep.
And then that brings in Dale Cooper to investigate, because this murder kind of feels similar to another murder that happened elsewhere in the state of Washington. So he's brought onto the scene to figure it out. That's kind of the whole starting point of the show. But as the show goes on, it's never, it's kind of about solving who murdered Laura Palmer, but they figure that out pretty quickly in season 2, and then it's just more about the town itself.
Yeah.
I think that's more like the crux of the show is the goings-ons of this town after this murder happens. And just all the shady shenanigans that go on, with the One-Eyed Jacks, whatever. I'm also trying to remember everybody's name. Ben Horn's doing. You've also got Dr. Jacoby. I'm just Christ. I'm trying to remember some of the other guys, Good Lord, I am
What? Just in general, or what?
I'm trying to find a specific character. Jacques Renault, again, all the characters at One-Eyed Jacks and the Roadhouse.
Yeah.
All being properly investigated.
The Shady Bunch, Leo and
Leo Johnson, Bobby Briggs, his dad, Sergeant Briggs. He's not shady, but he does have quite the character.
I did not know that was his son. I don't know if it really said it at the beginning very well, but I didn't realize that until second season when they're
sitting down
them together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, it's just never.
I think when they getting ready for the funeral, Bobby's having a cigarette and he's like, "Son, you better put out that cigarette. You're a man now." He's trying to have very stoic response to it, but
Another great character though.
He's so
Major
good.
Briggs.
I wish I know there's the original idea for a season 3 where I think the original plan was to go after UFOs, and Major Briggs was going to be a bigger part of that.
Oh, really?
Which I would have fucking loved, but that just becomes the X-Files before the X-Files started, so
yeah.
I think I have that show to look forward to now.
When did the X-Files start?
I think mid-90s at least.
Was it after Twin Peaks? Because when What's-His-Nuts showed up as Denise in this show, I was like, oh, is this because he's on the other famous show from the 90s? But maybe this is well before X-Files, I guess.
X-Files started in 1993. So, 2 years after Twin Peaks ended.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought they were doing a almost damn near crossover event when he walked in. That's what I thought was going on. I knew he wasn't playing. What is the character in X-File? I don't know. You haven't seen it, have you?
No, I haven't. I think I've watched
Mole.
the first episode.
Mole something. Anyway,
Mulder.
Mulder sounds right. Or is that the girl's name?
No,
See how much I'm
it's
talking
Scully.
about? I watched the first season. Yeah, watched the first season and I liked it, but I never. Just one of those I just never followed up on. Probably would have been fantastic in the time. Same Twin Peaks is great now, but imagine seeing it when it released, seeing it in its original format of on a bubble screen, the way it was
yeah.
fully I don't know, it would just the whole vibe of it is
The
it
cozy
would've felt so
color
good.
grading, everything's nice and
it would have felt great
amber.
to watch that. It would have felt like a bigger deal for sure.
Yeah.
At that time, I'm sure it was, right? I mean, it was.
Oh yeah.
As far as I know, a pretty sensational. It went very well from season 1. Fell off a little bit, but people loved it right away. Good for David Lynch. Good for him.
Yeah. I mean, of course, there's network issues, especially as season 2 gets going. But talk about that a little bit more. I mean, like, I think like season 1 really does just like kind of like hone in on focusing on, just like, starting the cogs and getting all the characters like moving. You know, like are introduced like to the police department with like Harry Truman. You know, like Deputy Hawk, Deputy Andy and Lucy, their whole relationship, and just like like, trying to figure out like who's responsible, whether it's like James or Bobby or Leo Johnson, or if there are other shady characters that like like come from like like the more like like seedier undergrounds of like the Pacific Northwest with Jacques Renault and his old group.
Yeah.
And and again, like, not even touching about like everything going on with the mill, the sawmill. Who's gonna own that?
Yeah, probably the weakest in my opinion storyline.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
I'm sure that's probably a pretty.
I mean, it's where Pete gets to spend the most time, but he is the best part of that storyline.
I definitely hate what they end up doing with Catherine, but Catherine as a character, or no, not Catherine. Sorry, Josie. What they end up doing with Josie as a character, and Catherine, honestly, her character too. Like it's never the scenes I want to be watching. Really, I wanted to get on with the other stuff usually. I mean, definitely it has its parts that are great, but and then what they do with Josie is obviously pretty well known for being a pretty bizarre thing because. It wasn't even good bizarre. She turns into what, like a doorknob or something?
Yeah,
no, like a nightstand knob.
I'm pretty sure that was like a studio thing because Lynch was like not working on the show by that point.
That's what I had come together afterwards, and like it's like because it didn't feel weird like Lynchian weird. It just felt weird. It just felt bad weird.
Yeah,
it felt bad watching that. I was like, what is happening to this show right now?
Which is also crazy because that scene you also get. Bob, I know we're talking about like crazy characters. Bob's by far the craziest because he's just an entity. What is Bob? He's the evil that men do, says Albert. But like you get Bob like coming up, like crawling onto the bed. He's like, "Where's Josie? Where's Josie, Dale? Where's Josie?" Which is again like. Frank Silva as Bob, I think, was one of the crazier performances ever. And again, like I think that only spurred because David Lynch was like doing some like on-set photography, and Frank Silva worked as like a set director. He just built the sets, and David Lynch just took a picture of him standing in the mirror, and Lynch was like, "That's the scariest thing I've ever seen. How about you play like this made-up." Boogeyman type character.
Yeah.
Which, to a great fucking effect, it worked. I mean...
First time you see Bob is it the pilot that you see him?
I don't think so. I think he pops up a couple episodes later.
When the mom sees him, right?
Yeah.
Terrifying. Truly, I mean, just as terrifying as like
he's like creeping over like the
Lynch
bed.
Jump scare, like, as always has this just terrifying... It's like... On paper, probably doesn't seem too terrifying. It's like, oh, scary man slowly walks towards the camera, but like,
the things he does with his
so
face,
unsettling.
The dude's face is just built different.
Truly. Oh yeah.
And like as things come to a head, they're like not like putting pieces together, but they're getting they're like figuring out like prime suspects and everything, and it comes to a head that they think Jacques Renault definitely had something to do with it. Jacques Renault, this like shady bartender guy, also works, like up at One Eye Jack's. A lot of the evidence they pull from Laura and like just across season 1, they end up pinning back to Jacques Renault. So bring him in, and then Laura Palmer's father comes in. This is the end of season 1. Like kills Jacques Renault. Because of course, like guys guilty of or like accused, arrested, in suspicion of the murder of Laura Palmer. And then someone shoots Dale Cooper in his hotel room, and that's the end of season 1. Cut to black. It's crazy. I was mad. because that I had planned my night where that would be the last episode I watched for the evening.
Yeah.
And then like, oh, fucking great.
Hey, sometimes that's the way it should be.
I mean,
sometimes
yeah.
you have to let it sit.
Some people had to wait longer for season 2 to start.
Yeah.
I just waited another day.
Probably a year. Who knows? Maybe
I
longer.
think so, yeah.
I don't know how fast shows were produced back then, but
They're produced much quicker now. I mean, like, how fucking long it takes a season 2 to get announced for a TV show. They do one season and then wait for it to fucking finish and then the ratings numbers to pull in before they start working on season 2. It's ridiculous.
so the Sonic movies, I feel like every time a Sonic movie comes out, the weekend goes by, Sonic movie goes up. Monday, they announce Sonic 4.
Like, I mean, that's, yeah.
Got it.
I know that's
It's
usually...
like a given.
Yeah, that's like movie. That's like, I think, the standard for movies, you know?
Yeah.
But TV, it takes it just feels like it takes way longer than it should. Anyway, season 2 starts. Dale Cooper's on the floor bleeding after being shot, and the room service guy bringing him his nightly cup of warm milk just is like, your milk's gonna get cold, man. He's like crotchety old guy. It becomes the funniest thing ever. Because, again, you're just like, holy shit, you're gasping at your breath, Dale Cooper got shot. And then it just comes, again, like, he walks in and just gives him a big hearty thumbs up, like, hey, you're doing good. You got it. I've seen you around town. Thumbs up. And Dale Cooper's, again, just lying on the floor, fucking bleeding out, just slowly lifts up a thumbs up himself. Just begging for this guy to help him. It's hilarious.
Yeah. It is. The humor in this, in really any Lynch stuff, but in the show, a lot more humor than I originally had expected. I mean, as some plot points are just at points, just humor side shit. But God, a lot of it's very funny.
Yeah.
To go back to the Nadine shit, or to really a lot of the show. Let's talk about it's adults liking high school students quite a bit. Wow, a lot of that going on.
Let me tell you, there's two. Yeah, because there is like the Audrey Horne, right? Works at the hotel, the Great Northern, with her dad. Kind of picks up feelings for Agent Cooper, or you know, like big city slicking detective. But Cooper's
how
like,
could you not?
I mean, yeah, how could you not? But I mean, Dale Cooper, being the honorable man he is like, I am an adult and you are in high school. We cannot do this, even though I kind of want to. He definitely drops the vibes like he would like this to continue, but knows he can't. Because he's working. He's busy working. And, you know, like, her getting involved could lead her to get in trouble, which it does. She gets kidnapped, taken hostage at the Great Northern for blackmail. Or not the Great Northern, she goes to, like, One-Eyed Jack's. Yeah, gets kidnapped for blackmail money.
What a scene where her father is like, she has a mask on.
Oh my god! Yeah, she's trying to get answers to see like.
There's a crazy scene.
Yeah.
And then she's like devastated afterwards, and then like 2 episodes later, she's like, just kind of whatever. It's kind of.
Yeah, she like wakes up, she like gets rescued, and then like, remember that lady with the white mask? That was me, Dad. You weirdo.
Yeah. And then they never really talk about it again. She kind of just gets over it.
I think it's just like,
I love my dad. All right.
I think it's because, like, yeah, like, by that point, too, like, she's, like, asks the question, like, if, you know, her dad slept with Laura and is the reason she's dead, and he admits, like, yeah, I slept with Laura Palmer. Who hasn't? But, and then, like, he gets arrested on suspicion, but then it's revealed that Leland Palmer, Laura's dad, is actually the one who did it and has been possessed by Bob the whole time. We get that reveal in one of the scariest scenes on TV when Leland murders Laura's cousin, who looks exactly like Laura Palmer but with black hair.
Yeah.
Also played by Cheryl Lee, the actress who does play Laura Palmer.
Yep.
Throughout the series. But it's, yeah, just absolutely terrifying to see happen. especially with like the editing around it too. You know, like Leland's just like freaking out, just like my Laura, and then you get like the slow-mo footage of Bob just howling.
Hell yeah.
It is fucking genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, I liked that stuff. I mean, I liked a lot of the. I know it wasn't the way it was supposed to go, I guess, but like.
Yeah,
The
like
Leland stuff, I thought it was cool, but then obviously the show has a very drastic drop off right after that.
yeah, the original plan was to just not reveal who killed Laura, and just have the show just continue with the town and the shenanigans that ensue. But Network really wanted there to be an answer. Lynch and Frost gave it to him, and I honestly think it's for the better that we do have the answer they gave us, because Lynch builds on it like so well. Like, as you know, like he built as he continues like the Twin Peaks lore, I guess.
Well, it definitely adds it in the movie. That's basically what the movie's about.
Yeah.
Well, the end of the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, the whole movie.
Kind of all over the place.
But now we get into the lesser fun parts of season 2.
Yeah.
But
a little of a low. I didn't really notice it too much. Like, where I saw a lot of people like, oh, the very obvious drop off in quality is like, I didn't really notice it.
You got your plot lines that continue. You know, like who controls the mill? Is it these Hong Kong people? Is it like these Japanese people? You know, like what happens to Catherine after the fire?
Yeah.
And then
it's just, I feel like they focus on some plot lines that don't matter, but there's still definitely plot lines going on in all the episodes that are good. So like I didn't really notice a huge drop off. I was just like, I just don't like the Ben Horn Civil War stuff. I didn't care about. I didn't care about most of Catherine's stuff. With the brother who's still alive stuff. Like,
you know, like there's like the running bit in season 1 where like there's a soap opera running on TV. And of course, like the show format does follow kind of like the same soap opera like tropes. You know, like Twin Peaks feels very soapish, but not to the point where it's like it is a soap opera. But then you get to some of those season 2 plot lines with Catherine and Josie. You know, then it just does feel like a soap opera. You know, like like your dead husband is still alive. Who gets to own the mill? Is it me? I've been this it's me, Catherine. I've been this Japanese man the whole time. That was crazy.
Yeah. That was weird. Except for when he comes on to Pete. That was great.
Yeah.
Hey, mister.
Catherine? You're alive?
Yeah, that was a good one.
But one of the plot lines I do really like is Dick Tremaine and Andy trying to prove themselves as a good father figure, and then just turning it into their own little mystery of like why this kid doesn't have any parents.
Yeah, that was fun.
Like it started out as
I like Dick a lot.
Yeah, it started off as like this silly like rivalry, you know, like trying to win Lucy's heart back.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes like, you know, like they think this kid is evil and they got to stop him. And then it just turns out this kid has just only ever had just a run of terrible bad luck, and they're terrible for thinking that he murdered his parents.
I definitely thought they were going to go like a route of like there was something like a curse, like a Twin Peaks, like something like larger into the story of like Bob and the Great Lodge or something like that. I was like, nope. It's like maybe this kid's curse. I don't know. Maybe he just got bad luck and a bunch of people die around him. Let's not figure it out.
Yeah.
But it was still fun. It was a very fun little plot line. When they go to the fucking orphanage or whatever, the adoption center, and they tell those parents that like, oh, he's dead. The kid you're looking for, he's dead. Dead tired. It was a great scene. Very funny.
Yeah, it really is funny. I do love it a lot. And I guess we could also talk about like the Nadine stuff too, because her plotline in season 2 is bizarre, but I was kind of a fan of it. I liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You know, I mean, not for like, you know, like of course like you know, she like bumps her head, she gets into an accident and thinks she's back in high school. Of course, she's like 40 years old, married to Big Ed, who runs the gas station. Big Ed wants to get with Norma at the diner, but because he's married to Nadine, he can't. And because Norma's married to this criminal guy who's also connected to One-Eyed Jacks, she can't. But Nadine bumps her head, thinks she's in high school, and then it's like, these are the dating years, Ed. I like this Mike guy. He's got a cute butt.
And everyone just allows that.
Hey, listen, Dr. Jacoby, he's just like, you gotta let this play out. There's nothing we can do.
Mike, you're gonna have to fuck this older lady, okay?
He was into it. I mean,
she was strong.
She was strong, yeah.
You like that.
Bizarre levels of strength. But, that was another, network decision. As much as I did find it, charming a little bit, I mean, aside from the statutory moments, that was also, a big network thing. Because they wanted, the quirky, idiosyncratic character moments and plot lines. And Lynch hated that, because when he came back to direct the final episodes, the first thing he did was turn Nadine back to normal.
Yeah. He gets hit on the head during the fucking Twin Peaks thing, right?
Yeah. And that's also when we get to the other plot line with Cooper. I know he's trying to figure out what's going on in the woods with Major Briggs, but there's also the other FBI agent. I don't remember what his name is.
David Lynch or the...
No, not Gordon Cole. How could I forget Gordon Cole? He's the best. His former partner.
Sure. I'm gonna think of it. Earl.
Wyndham Earl. Yes, Wyndham
Earl. Yeah,
this is what happens when we don't record for a month and a half.
Yeah, right.
We watched the show and the movie, or I watched the show and the movie weeks ago.
Yeah. I like some of his plotline stuff. To be honest with you.
It brings it back to this overarching narrative, and gives Cooper something to do, given that after he solves the murder, his plotline's done. In a clean investigation, he would no longer be needed. So of course they have to write it in so that he has to stay behind, and that's when we get him getting put on dishonorable discharge leave or whatever the FBI does, turn in your badge and gun.
Yeah.
You're under criminal investigation for your conduct. But that's also
Canada.
Yeah, that's also where we meet Denise, which I think is also a great character because she walks in, and to everyone's shock, Denise is a trans woman, which in 1990 pretty insane.
Yeah.
But I have one part that I laughed out loud at was when Audrey Horne meets Denise and her reaction is they have female agents? And Denise is like, well, sorta.
More or less.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he wants to fuck the high schooler too. Or she, I don't know Denise's pronouns. I suppose they're she, her.
It'd be she, her, yeah. But I mean, this is another funny thing she says, I may be wearing a dress now, but I still put on my panties one leg at a time, if you know what I mean, Dale. And then Dale's like, no, I don't. I do not understand.
All right. I mean, he wants to fuck a minor? Is that what you mean? Is that what you mean?
I mean, I think all the established high schoolers are 18, but they're still in high school, so you shouldn't. That's still no good.
Oh yeah, probably shouldn't. But listen, look at the high schoolers are doing.
Cocaine
And
murder,
naked dancing in Canada.
But and then season 2 wraps up with Cooper venturing into the Black Lodge to go after Annie, who he met. Wyndham Earl captures her, he finds the Black Lodge, they both go in. And we've seen inklings of the lodge throughout the show. right? Season, like we see it once in season 1. We meet the arm. He does a little dance. He talks backwards, and then we meet the giant. He kind of like helps Dale a little bit by giving him clues. Does the whole "it's happening again" bit before Leland kills Laura's cousin, which is also great. Love the giant.
Yeah. All the characters from the Lodge or whatever.
Yeah, the Black Lodge.
Black Lodge or the White Lodge. I suppose
we don't see the White Lodge in season 1 or 2.
No, but I mean that's where the giant's from.
That's where the giant's from.
That's all I'm saying. I suppose we don't know that, except for I went ahead and watched one episode from. Remember, you know.
Yeah, I know. You watched episode 8, the best episode of TV I'd say ever.
That was cool. That was fun.
Yeah, but now you get to rewatch it with context.
Yeah. Well, there was. I don't need much context for that episode, really. Mostly watching an atom bomb.
We'll talk about that later. Anyway,
we're gonna talk about Oppenheimer later. Cool.
Not a weirdo movie, I don't think.
No, but
so yeah, we go into the Black Lodge, and then Cooper watches Bob basically destroy Wyndham Earl. In again, just another crazy thing to put on network television in 1990. He's by Lynch standards, it's pretty standard. There's nothing out of the ordinary for what David Lynch has done. But to put it on network television, this ran on ABC on a primetime television slot. This was nuts.
Yeah.
I got him wandering through the Black Lodge. Everyone's talking backwards. Scary shit's happening. With Laura shows up and she's just screaming in reverse as she's coming at the camera. You got the strobe lights going off. Oh, Dale Cooper's lost because he doesn't know where he's at fully. And Bob takes over Dale Cooper and he escapes, and that's the end of season 2.
Quite an ending.
Yeah, you see Cooper freak out. He bashes his head in the mirror, and you see Bob in the reflection, and that's where they end Twin Peaks for 25 years, more or less. Because the movie does come out, but the movie's more a prequel than anything.
I was surprised that they do show that at the end of the movie. I watched I don't even remember what it's called, Blue Rose cut or something. I don't know. It's the longer cut of the movie, so I don't really know how it differs from the original. But it brings back that "Where's Annie" part where it's the other Dale Cooper in the mirror.
Yeah.
And shows that I liked that tie-in, or rather, but that inclusion there was cool.
But yeah, there's again plenty of details that we left out. But again, this is 2 seasons of television we're talking about here. It's a lot of I think 30-ish episodes of TV. I know season 2 is significantly longer than season 1, but
yeah. First one's 8 episodes, right?
Yeah.
First.
So yeah, I think that's 30 on the dot, actually. Yeah.
Nice.
But it's a great run of TV. Despite its peaks and valleys, it's Twin Peaks and Valleys. But it's again especially on rewatch, it's just a ton of fun. I'd say more than anything, it's fun, which is to say the opposite feeling of watching Fire Walk with Me, if you want to jump into that.
Yeah, sure. Which version did you watch? Do you know?
I just watched the one that's on the Criterion Blu-ray, so not the Blue Rose cut.
Yeah, I guess there's 3 cuts. I had to Google it because I was about to watch the one that I could find for free, and it was the Blue Rose cut or whatever the hell it's called. And then some people on Reddit were saying they like that one, but there was another cut that was put out, I think famously officially put out, that wasn't as good. So there's I don't know, multiple versions, but anyway, I watched it. I did watch it finally.
Yeah, I think the Criterion is just the normal cut.
Yeah, it probably makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what did you think of Fire Walk with Me?
You know what? I'm gonna disappoint you a little bit. It was fine.
It was fine, he says.
It was fine. It focused a lot on obviously people didn't like this originally. I hear,
yeah.
but it doesn't focus on what you want it to focus on a lot of the time, which is just disappointing. Maybe as like its own thing and like as a movie, it's fine, but like what you want and what you get are two different things. What you get still could be good, but you still want that. I wanted a lot more Dale Cooper, and but it was definitely fine. I liked the Leland stuff. I liked some of it, but yeah, the first half of it was really dragged for me, and none of it hit the highs of like the show
Sure.
to me. And just as like a David Lynch movie, like if it was like just kind of more standalone, it's still just like one of his, I feel like, more fine outings, I suppose. Also, the version I watched is over 3 hours, I think. So
yeah.
I think it was like a bunch of the deleted scenes were put back into it.
That to me that sounds like, yeah, you watch like the movie and the missing piece, like because there's like Twin Peaks: The Missing Pieces.
Yeah, there's some of that added into it.
Yeah, all the deleted scenes, like 90 minutes of deleted scenes.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was quite a bit, but I mean, regardless, it didn't change the movie that much. It was fine. It was fine. It didn't satisfy me in any which way that I kind of wanted it to. So I mean, that's just what it is. It is what it is. But also, I've felt that way about other David Lynch movies in the past, the same exact kind of lacklustery way, and then I've rewatched those movies and then like completely felt way different by them. You know, and I feel like Eraserhead, one of them. I think we talked about that before.
We'll talk about that at the end of the episode too. Again,
sure. But that's one that like the first time I watched it, I'm like, I don't think I like that, and then it clicks later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe just the first time I watched this movie, it was just like not what I wanted, and just left a no taste in my mouth rather than a bad taste. And next time I watch it, it might hit a lot harder. And certainly the end of the movie was, where things finally, you see what happens, and like all of that is like top tier, like good shit. But I feel like as a movie as a whole, it didn't ever delivered that consistently for me.
Okay.
But how do you feel about it? You've seen it a few times now?
I've seen it twice now. I watched it last year for the first time and was just completely gutted and devastated by it.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah. And then I rewatched it again, and it still didn't get any easier to sit through.
Yeah.
But again, it's like it's definitely a movie as much as this, like of an upsetting and just sad movie as it is. It's one I would definitely like rewatch pretty quickly if like given like the opportunity or need for it, because I do genuinely like think it's like fantastic. And again, like especially on rewatch too, like what you're getting into. You have the initial like investigation, in the trailer park with like Kiefer Sutherland and like the other guy. You get to hang out with Gordon
love
Cole.
Kiefer Sutherland, but he was awful in this movie. I thought, like, no offense to him too much, but I'm like, what is this man doing? Like, he looked young. Obviously,
did look young, maybe face.
He was a little bit, but man, maybe it was just a bad character. He's just kind of a dorkish. I don't know.
You get to
Didn't like Kiefer Sutherland. I want to fight him.
Do get to see a bit of Gordon Cole too again. Love Gordon Cole to death. I would fight a mountain of men for that man. Even if he couldn't hear what I was doing or saying to him. But there's a part, it's at the very beginning of the movie. He's calling like the FBI guys, as they're like arresting prostitutes next to a school bus of screaming children. A crazy situation to cut to.
Yeah. He's
like calling them, and he's like, I am sending you to Oregon to solve this murder. And like one of the FBI guys is like, okay, Cole, we're on it. And then he just screams into the phone, Oregon, just like furiously. And I think it's pretty fucking funny. You know, one of those Gordon Cole-isms that, again, just it convinced me Lynch is like actually just the funniest person ever. especially like whenever his character shows up in season like 1 and 2 of like Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And when we get to follow him along in The Return. Spoiler alert, he's a big player in it. He's like he's one of the main leads of The Return.
Oh, really?
Except he gets a new earpiece so he doesn't have to shout, and he can adjust his volume so he can talk at a normal speaking volume.
Oh, really good.
Yeah.
That's funny. Hell yeah.
But
yeah, honestly, like it's been a few weeks. I have not had that much interest in booting up that show just because it's another long. I suck at watching shows so bad. I just like have very little motivation. So like I haven't even wanted to boot up that 3rd season yet. It seems so long and daunting, and it's just like I want to take a 25-year break before I watch it. I think, because it's a long one. God damn, shows are long.
18 episodes, 18 hours. Some say it's the best. It's a 18-hour long movie. But I'm not watching it in one sitting.
Me either. Would you watch 5? Oh, you've done that. 5 movies in one sitting.
Oh yeah, no, a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, that doesn't total to 18 hours. Those are 90-minute movies. But The Return. So yeah, we like talk to them. We meet up with Dale Cooper a little bit. He's doing something with a security camera. David Bowie walks in.
Oh yeah, David Bowie was in this movie for a bit.
Philip Jeffries.
And yeah, why was he there? What was he
he
about? Why was he on fire for a second? What was he about?
He's pointing at Cooper's like, who do you think that is? I'm not here to talk about Judy. It talks about like meeting up with like the Red Room people or the Black Lodge people in their convenience store hideout.
Yeah.
We live inside a dream.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I didn't understand any. I had to watch his whole part twice because I was like, "Why are you in this movie? Why are you on fire?" He like randomly like disappears. Am I remembering this right? He like kind of manifests somewhere else and is kind of on fire.
That I think is one of the deleted scenes because in the movie, his whole scene where I think he's like sitting at a desk talking about like man above a convenience store is overplayed with footage from above the convenience store with the arm talking about like this is the table, green is its color, talking about his soup or whatever. Like I've got my soup. And Bob's there and some of the other like you meet like a woodsman and some kid with a mask.
That's right.
Yeah, so like that whole scene gets like cut up and spliced in and compacted with a couple other things that happen, which only make it more confusing if you just have no idea what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
But then we flash forward to Twin Peaks, and it's we catch up with Laura Palmer. You know, we hear the Twin Peaks theme playing as she's walking to school, and it ends with her snorting coke in the bathroom. And you got this nice, whimsical, kind of like almost like nostalgic feeling theme song playing. And then, oh yeah, that's right, Laura's got some serious baggage to deal with. And we just follow her in like the final week of her life, and it's horrifying and devastating.
Yeah, she's a little fucked up, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's the whole, I mean, you know, she's like meeting like strangers from the lodge in the parking lot. They gave her a painting, and you know, like that's when she goes back home because she finds out like Bob's snooping at her secret diary, sees Bob in her bedroom, runs out of the house, freaks out, and then she sees what the fuck, now my dad's walking out of the house. So when she finally realizes what's been going on for 12 years.
Yeah, I don't think I get it.
And Sheryl Lee giving like just like a horrifyingly incredible performance, I think, in that scene and like throughout the rest of the movie too.
Yeah, she's crazy. She did great. Yeah, she's a bad bitch.
She's
one bad bitch. She don't care about the rules.
Yeah. And, like, yeah, we see her, like, going through, like, again, like, I guess, like, her normal day-to-day of, like, meeting up with Jacques Renault and Leo Johnson, having some coke up in Canada, like, selling her off to some dudes, and then her friend Donna follows her. It's like, her best friend Donna. And she almost gets mixed up in all of it, and then Laura's like, no, you can't do it. This isn't right. You're not supposed to be here. This is dangerous. You're in danger. Like, I'm all fucked up. You shouldn't be following me, Donna.
Well,
but there is one, like, again, like, talking about, like, Ray Wise as Leland Palmer, and we kind of, like, glossed over him a little bit in talking about the show, but him also giving quite the incredible performance, even, like, in the show,
yeah.
And here in the movie, now that, like, the context is that he's possessed by Bob. There's the one scene where, like, Laura comes home after finding out that Bob and Leland are the same. And, like, Leland, like, gets up, like, Laura, you didn't wash your hands. And, like, the look on Laura's face is just utter terror.
Yeah.
That scene, like, is just awful to sit through. And then, like, plenty of other moments, too, where, like, Leland, like, knows that something terrible is wrong. Like, he knows, like, could I be, like, this horrible monster? He's thinking about, like, the other girl he killed, who was, like, the same girl from the beginning of the movie. That, like, Kiefer Sutherland, like, digged up. And, like, there's, like, one specific moment, too, like, nobody seems to talk about. When, like, Leland is, like, comes into the house and sees Don and Laura, like, talking on the couch, and then, like, the flash image of those two, like, in a bed in lingerie pops into his head. And then the look on his face is, like disgust and terror with himself.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people talk about that specific moment. They usually talk about, like, the ending and, all the other, like, Black Lodge shenanigans that happen, too. Especially, like, since that's where Dale Cooper shows up again, too.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, it's. I think it's Lynch's best.
Really?
I like it more than, like, both runs of the show, more than any of his other movies. It's just an incredibly, like, I don't know what to say, like, powerful or moving or just gutting movie making experience, especially the performance Cheryl Lee puts in, like, during the end of the movie, after she gets killed by her father.
Oh,
like,
in the lodge?
Yeah, after everything in the Train Car, and it's just her in the lodge. She, like, escaped Bob. She put on the ring just in time. Bob can't take her, but now she's dead. And, like, there's, like, yeah, the look on her face. She's like almost, like, laughing, but also, like, crying at the same time. It's yeah, like,
you did do great.
A great performance.
Yeah, she did really good. There's definitely great scenes in the movie. I just think the whole thing is a little scattered for me.
Sure.
To think that, like, one of my favorite David Lynch, it just doesn't ever solidly do anything for me. It has its highs, it has lows. It's just a little bit all over the place for me. But also it's doing a lot. It's a movie about a TV show. So
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Yeah. That's what I think about it.
All right.
It's a fine movie. I'll probably have to rewatch it in X amount of years and then think, oh yeah, that is really fucking good. But
10 out of 10 in my books.
It's like a 5 out of 10 in my book. Is that blasphemy? I don't know. You just gave it a perfect. I'm giving it a half skis.
The enemy of the show, Austin, will definitely be happy to hear that you're less enthused, because he's been on the whole fucking tirade since he's finished The Return. Like, I know, yeah, he texted you, like, that episode 17 is the real ending and not episode 18. but he's also been texting just everybody his feelings about it, to the point where it's not even like about his opinion, it's about how he can piss all of us off.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's fine. I liked the first 2 seasons a lot. I mean, I did. So I think that alone is fine. I think the return will be a wholly different thing as well. It sure seems like it is.
Yeah, much like going from the Twin Peaks to Fire Walk with Me, going to the return. Yeah. It's a completely different format. So yeah. Whatever you think is going to happen in the return is not going to happen in the return.
Right.
He wanted like a nostalgia trip through, like getting the gang back together, solving another murder mystery, like something Netflix would put out. And instead he got 18 hours of David Lynch spending $50 million on some crazy ideas he had.
Hell yeah.
And then he hated it. And he hates me now because of it.
He hates you?
He blocked me on Letterboxd because of it. Oh. He was like, I'm sick of you guys not letting me have my own opinion, even though that's never been an issue. He's been very vocal about his own opinions for a while. But now he doesn't have to see now he doesn't have to see me rate things highly just for him to hate him later. He's going through a phase right now. He'll bounce back, I think.
It's not a phase. I don't understand, Mom.
Yeah.
You'll never understand me.
But yeah. So anything he texts you regarding the return, please just ignore.
What if I watch it and what if like we are spot on, me and him, with our opinions? What if
as long as you don't text me every day that you're glad David Lynch is dead, we'll be okay.
I won't do that, my friend.
Yeah. They hate everything David Lynch has ever done because you hated the return. Everything's ruined now.
Ruined.
Yeah, it's been a fucking exhausting week texting him. He's gonna be mad that I'm talking about him on the show, but it's
I'll have to talk to him about his opinions on it. Or at least on the first 2 seasons in the movie.
I do not. I mean, like, he liked the first 2 seasons in the movie, but if you ask him again now, he says that the return has like since tainted his love for it, which is crazy. But cross that bridge when we get there.
Sounds like a Game of Thrones type of fan over here.
Yeah.
How dare the ending of my favorite thing be bad?
Yeah.
You know what? I have I don't hate BoJack Horseman's final episode by any means, but I do wish the show ended 1 episode earlier. I just would hit so much harder. I don't know if you've watched that show.
I haven't.
It's fucking great. But the end is fine. It is fine. But it would have hit harder if they would have left it a little bit more just I don't want to spoil things, so I don't want to say, but regardless,
yeah,
I have a beloved show that I feel that way about. I wish it just ended 1 episode. It would have been perfect. And
but
just this tacked on one.
You can still say BoJack Horseman is a great show, regardless of your feelings of that.
Of course, I don't need. Yeah, I don't need to talk shit about the last episode. It just would have been a cooler landing if they didn't do it.
Sure.
You
genuinely might feel that way about the return, but again,
I might.
The thing is, the return is also a lot of just interpret whatever you can out of it. You saw episode 8. There's a lot of wiggle room for you to think about what the fuck you're watching. It's certainly way more thematically narrative or thematically driven than just straightforward narrative.
Sure.
So we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
As Lynch does. As he does. Oh yeah.
But that's Fire Walk with Me. Oh, and a little bit of a sneak peek of the return. But now, we're in 10 minutes into the recording. We still need to talk about the weirdo movie of the week. Of the episode. Oh, yeah. I still have to talk about Eraserhead.
Everyone's seen it. Everyone knows it. and we've both had seen it before for this episode. It's not like we need to go through a step-by-step of the movie by any means, but what a first outing for a fucking director.
Yeah, it's a pretty great first outing.
It really is. I mean, he has a vision. It's crazy that he did that and then started doing studio stuff and started getting controlled almost instantly.
I mean, that's
at least
the Hollywood
somewhat.
system, maybe.
Yeah, right. So I'm glad he was able to turn it around. But man, as a first, and the story behind how they made it and how much effort they all put into a little family of movie makers here.
Yeah.
It's a great.
Jack Nance had to have that haircut for 5 years.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Stupid, goofy, puffed up haircut. I feel bad for the guy, but I mean, it turned out to be great.
It's amazing that movie took that long to make because it feels small. It feels I don't know if it's small is the right word, but you know what I mean. It feels like this easily I don't know how I'm saying this, but it does not look like it should have taken 5 years. That's for damn sure. But every little detail is so on purpose that it is so it is such a vision, and you can tell that it's a vision because it took them forever long to make it exactly as weird and the infamous taking the suitcases from underneath the bed part, where he's just keep doing it. It's gonna feel unnecessary, and that scene rocks. You don't forget that scene, really. I mean, maybe because it's a little bit weird.
Yeah,
but,
is it supposed to be funny, or am I supposed to be stressed out?
Is it just happening? Right? It's just things like that.
Yeah,
it's just, I could watch this movie multiple times and never really. It feels somewhat like background noise as a movie because it's a fucking tonal nightmare. It's an industrial wasteland of a movie.
Yeah.
Half of it is just not loud noises, but just industrial sounds and great sound design, great production in the sound fucking department over here. But it is such a good background vibe going on. I know it's not a happy one, but you can just stare at this movie and just be immersed in it almost at any moment throughout the movie. It's never narratively important, like you were kind of saying. It's never what's happening in the story is fuck it. I mean, they're just sitting around a table. That's all.
He's and again, watching it for the first time, you get just the what the fuck did I just watch kind of mentality, because again, it's nothing like you've ever seen in any movie, especially if I know Eraserhead's also one of the first weirdo movies most people get to. It's infamous for the midnight movie screenings and all that, and it's a lot of people's first introduction to Lynch or anything just not in the normal cloth of movie.
Yeah.
But again, the more you watch it, the more you're able to absorb what the movie's getting at. And that's Jack Nance being an immature guy, not ready for fatherhood, and just freaked out about again, just not ready for it. He doesn't. He's nervous to meet his girlfriend's parents. He doesn't want to cut the chicken because he doesn't know how. How the fuck am I supposed to cut this small ass chicken?
Yeah.
What am I How does that work? And how I want to go flirt with the lady across the hall, but I got this baby to take care of. Yeah. Which also leads to, again, one of the funniest scenes in the movie where he's checking the baby's temperature, because every time he goes to the door it starts crying, so he's checks the temperature, he looks at the baby, looks back, and then it just hard cuts to the baby just covered in maggots and pus and sores, and Jack Nance just goes oh, you are sick.
Yeah,
it's just a fucking hilarious line delivery too.
That is a great, perfect example of how the movie just is a feeling. I don't know.
Yeah, it
doesn't make sense that this kid would instantly become that, but that's just what it is.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, you're sick. He doesn't need to second guess it. Oh, you are sick. Okay. Well,
yeah, it's pure. It is just pure dreamlike energy from From start to finish. I know that like most people think about like a dream, like a movie that feels like a dream as like bizarro shit. You know, like you're seeing crazy things, but here it's just like like a nightmare that you're stuck in for 90 minutes, but like nothing like outwardly terrifying.
Right, it doesn't need to be terrifying. It's just how nightmares are. I mean, they're not constantly fucking in your face terrifying. They're just like, what the? It's an unsettling
things
feeling.
are off. Yeah, you get turned into, you get like decapitated. Some little boy takes your head, turns you into erasers.
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes that happens.
Sometimes that happens. Happens to the best of us.
Really does. Yeah. What a fucking flick. Glad it was able to come out the way he wanted it to, and
again,
propel his incredible career.
That's what happens. I think he had like a studio, like a college level like art grant. You know, like a couple $1,000 to make a movie, and he did. You know, like if you look at the crew credits, it's mostly him. And yeah, that's I guess also why it took so long. Guy's never made any movie before. He just did like short films and paintings. And yeah, pulled this all together, learned how to make a movie, and then like turned one of the most important filmmakers of his time out of it. Great movie.
Great movie. I don't know what my favorite David Lynch is. This is a really good David Lynch movie. I don't know if I would want to show it to that many people in like, check this out. It is long in what it is. And maybe that's why I didn't love it the first time as much. I'm trying to like watching this movie with more intent and trying to, figure out why it's so beloved more than just watching it and feeling it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It had these huge shoes to fill because it's like, oh, this is. I actually bought the Criterion before ever watching this movie. I bought it on Criterion. Which I've done a couple times with a few different movies.
Yeah, most of my shelf I haven't seen.
Right. It's just like you buy them and like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like Eraserhead, but I don't know. So I bought it, watched it the first time, so I'm expecting like to be blown away, and I feel like the expectation kind of killed it, and I feel like that might be a big thing in any David Lynch type things, because you're not going in just to fully lose yourself in that world. It's not good. If you're not lost in that world, then the world just looks stupid, I guess.
Yeah.
And maybe that happened the first time I watched Eraserhead. Maybe not stupid. I wouldn't say that, but
expectations were like certainly not.
Yeah, and then the second time going in, my expectations were obviously a lot lower because I remember this wasn't that great. But I was wrong. Thank God. It is that great.
Yeah.
I just, it just had to go in with nothing. You need to be a blank slate to watch David Lynch. You just need to not expect anything or have any preconceived anything. You just got to go in and try to let it get you to the place where it's supposed to get you.
Yeah.
Wherever that may be.
You know, it's a good David Lynch movie that requires no like expectations. The Straight Story, because that is just a guy and his lawnmower going across the Midwest. No crazy shenanigans. He just wants to go see his brother, but he's too old to drive. Great movie, also. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a weird movie by any means. It's a very normal movie, traditionally narrative. David Lynch was just given the script and loved it so much. He's like, I'll direct it myself.
Sick. Love the man. He was a great man.
Great man. Yeah.
Sheesh.
But does it belong on the watch list? This is the furthest we made it in this recording too, because last time we didn't make it to this point because that's when the recording crashed.
Does Eraserhead belong on the Weirdo Watchlist? Yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Hard to argue that it doesn't.
Yeah,
I think
I mean, even for David Lynch, it's one of his weirdest, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like things get more like narratively straightforward from here on out. Aside from maybe Lost Highway and Mulholland Drive, Inland Empire for sure too. But
still haven't seen that one.
I have to rewatch that one because when I saw it, the president got shot. That one time. Yeah. But
Oh, my president. I got you.
Yeah, your president. That's when the assassination attempt happened. So I was just like, only thinking about that and unable to focus on the movie, so I owe it a rewatch.
You were just cheesing? What? You were just like, that was sick. Remember?
I was just constantly scrolling Twitter, seeing like everyone's reactions. Everyone's like, "How the fuck do you miss?" It's like this. This hasn't happened in 40 years.
Yeah. Here's a little ending story for the podcast here.
Yeah.
I was DJing a wedding that day. It was a Saturday that Donald Trump was shot in the ear.
Yeah.
And there was, not a whole lot of information put out right away. It's like there was an assassination attempt. It narrowly missed. He's fine. That's all we really know.
Yeah.
So obviously we now know it wasn't like it wasn't this huge thing. But the bride's dad came up to me and said, "Can you announce that Donald Trump there's been an attack on his life and that he's still alive and kicking?" And I'm like, okay. So I said it just like that. And he's still alive and kicking. And the dad went, "What?" Got the whole crowd to scream.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, hey, that's the craziest shit I've ever had to do into a microphone is yell some happy shit about Donald Trump surviving anything, and then having a crowd of rednecks scream happy yells into the beer stenched air. Anyway, that's what happened to me that day. So you were watching Inland Empire, huh?
Yeah. I just like pop open Twitter for a second, and I just see like just a single tweet. How the fuck did you miss? And then the news came after that, so I was like, oh my fucking god.
Last thing I'll say about it was, I don't think the Tenacious D Kyle Gass should have been that canceled for what he said. He made a little joke that day.
God, yeah,
you remember?
In Australia too, they would have eaten that. They
really?
would have ate that joke up. Yeah.
He wasn't even here.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. He's in Tenacious D. He can do whatever he wants. He can make whatever joke he wants. Leave him alone.
Comedy's legal now, everyone. Calm down.
Anyway, where were we? Does it belong to the watch list?
Yes. Definitive weirdo movie.
Do I rate this one? I'm going to rate this one probably a 5 out of 5, maybe a 4 out of 5, whatever. But like, how important it is and all of that. I mean, just for being Eraserhead and his first movie, 5 out of 5. You know what I mean?
Definitely a movie everyone should watch once in their life, maybe twice.
Yeah, might not love it, but like watch it because David Lynch and what he's about, and this is his first one. It's just like, what did the famous, most infamous fucking mind of cinema do for his first big outing? Here it is. Whether you're gonna like it or not, whatever. But you gotta watch it.
The guy you can like definitively call like a singular creative man, like like an artist pure and simple, right? Didn't take shit from no studio, and lived vicariously through just like wanting to have ideas.
Yeah.
Built his whole life around like
true artist.
Yeah, like the dude fucking ate tuna sandwiches every day for like months at a time, just so then he can focus on thinking about ideas instead of thinking about what he's gonna make for dinner. That's a crazy thing to do, but it worked for him. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for me.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, absolutely one of the more important films of like its time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Now we got to figure out what we're gonna watch next. I know we talked about doing The Return, but also like space.
Let's do a movie.
Do a movie. All right, I'll do a movie
I haven't
and then.
Picked one, but
I know.
Something out. Weirdo Watchlist. I got to tab it right open.
You got a tab?
Let me go to a random page here and see what sticks out to me. See if I can pick something in the next 2 seconds. Repo the Genetic Opera. That's the first thing I saw. It's a good looking movie.
Oh, Twin Peaks: The Return. It's right here.
Really?
Yeah. Scrolled right past it.
Hot Rod is on here. That's
Hot Rod. The Andy Samberg?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that movie?
I haven't seen Hot Rod.
I don't think it really belongs on this list, so I wouldn't even say let's choose it. I've seen it like 50 times probably. I've seen it so many times. It's a long SNL skit. I mean, it's very much just a Lonely Island movie, which I love. What's The Fountain? I've heard of this.
Oh, that's
Darren Aronofsky.
Yeah, Darren Aronofsky.
I'd watch that. I like Darren Aronofsky.
You wanna do The Fountain?
It looks weird. It looks weird from just the picture on Letterboxd. Yeah, you want to watch The Fountain?
Let's watch The Fountain.
Can we watch it easily?
It should be. 2006 Aronofsky. We do have to rent it for $4, but
there you go. Yeah, $3 on Prime Video.
Yeah, and 96 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. All right, so take a Twin Peaks break, watch The Fountain, and discuss.
Yeah, we'll do an episode on Twin Peaks: The Return in 25 years.
Yeah, I'm still gonna rewatch The Return.
Yeah,
just get myself ready for it.
I probably will once I'm just bored and wanted something to watch. I don't feel compelled to do it now. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But The Fountain from 2006, a traveler in deep space attempts to make it to a dying star wrapped within a nebula. You know how you do.
That's a different description than what Letterboxd gives. It's confusing.
Oh, really? Read yours.
Spanning over 1,000 years and 3 parallel stories, The Fountain is a story of love, death, spirituality, and the fragility of our existence in this world.
They're way different.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I think this will be my my third Aronofsky, because I've seen The Mother and The Whale, and that's it.
Oh, Mother. That's right.
Mother is so fucking good too, but
it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, would I be stressed to rewatch it? Absolutely.
I really liked how that movie started and ended. I don't know if you remember any of it. It was like the character waking up, and the character waking up in the first scene is basically the character coming to life, and you find that out at the end with the new character opening up the scene with a new character in the same exact way. I don't know if you remember that part, but
I don't remember that part. But I remember really wanting a cigarette after the movie just because I was stressed out of my mind.
Yeah, that's a good one. I really liked reading into that one because it was a cool watch, but then reading kind of what it's about and Mother Nature and a little bit more that's kind of it's a fun movie. I love Darren. Pi is one of my favorite movies. I don't know if you haven't seen it, obviously.
Nope.
It wasn't on your list that you just gave me. That's another short movie, but cool. It reminds me a lot of I'm not gonna remember what the fuck the Iron Man that we watched.
Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Reminds me of that kind of filmmaking. It's very, very low budget and grainy and fast and cuts. Great movie. I love Darren Aronofsky. So The Fountain.
I don't know if your mic cut out or what when you yelled The Fountain, but
yeah.
But yeah, we'll watch The Fountain. Watch that and save Twin Peaks: The Return for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
And that's the end of the episode. Be sure to watch The Fountain. Be sure to watch Twin Peaks: The Return when you can. We'll get to it. And thank you everyone for listening. Be sure to rate, subscribe, comment, tell your mom about us.
You tell her about me specifically.
About him specifically. I'm good. I'm a married man.
I love your mom.
And that's the end of the podcast. You know what? Oh, before I finish and hit the end record button, longest episode we've ever recorded, 1.5 hours.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
a lot of talking in this one. So.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to talk to my girlfriend in a half hour ago, bro.
Whoops. All in the episode. I'll let you get to that.
All right, brother.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.